All right. So thank you guys for joining on the call. My name is Ndoka Anthony Analytical, and I'm the founder of A1 Blockchain Hub. A1 Blockchain Hub is still a platform that tends to push forward the education and adoption of blockchain technology and cryptocurrency in Africa, basically in Nigeria, where we started at. So tonight we'll be discussing digital identity on a blockchain, and we have our guest speaker who is from Ontology Network. Believe he's going to introduce himself. So Ugu Silas, please would like you to introduce yourself while you unmute your mic.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Sir Arne Lechuku. Yeah, I welcome you guys to this session. My name is Ugu Saila Chinazebe, and I'm the community manager for Onto Wallet. Thank you guys for joining us.
Okay, great. That's an amazing quick introduction right there. So the topic we have today is digital identity on the blockchain. Now, I believe most of us have actually been hearing about national identification number, and most of us have been hearing about things that relates to human identity. And it seems that somehow, maybe sometimes we do not care because we just feel like it's not really worth it. Sometimes you see people giving out their personal details out there. You create a Facebook account, you put in all your personal details, things that relate to you, where you stay, how you're busy working, things you do almost daily. And sometimes people don't care about this data or information they put online. So all these things are things that can be used to identify you. So today we are talking about digital identity, the stuffs or the content or the materials you are using to identify yourself on the internet. Now we are now relating it to blockchain because blockchain will feel like it's actually a decentralized network that makes the centralized system become a better version of it. So today I would like to start by asking a few questions to Ugo Salas, who is the community manager for Ontology Network. So Silas, would like to know, like, can you please tell us a bit about this digital identity and what it refers to? Because I know it's actually faced a lot of topics and contents around the globe. So can you just brief us about digital identity and then relate it to blockchain?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I thank you guys once more for joining this session. Okay, let's go on. DID, as the acronym stands, it means decentralized identity, or you can also call it decentralized identifiers. Yeah, I hope everyone can hear me. I hope
Oh, we
everyone can
can,
hear
we
me so I
can,
can go on.
we can go ahead.
Okay. So basically, these decentralized identifiers are pseudo anonymous identifiers for a person, company, or object. Just see this as your identity on the blockchain, such that like we have our wallet addresses that we use to receive and transfer funds. These decentralized identifiers are also there to help pioneer for the person or the company involved, and it gives you that entity that it is you that owns this private identity and no one can tamper with it. You can also call it user-centric identity because this identity cannot be tampered with. It is tamper-proof, though it is visible in the blockchain as it connotes to blockchain, but it is only you and you are the real owner of the identity. By the way, as you go on, we unleash on what this identity entails. Thank you, Sani and Lechiku.
All right, that's awesome. That's really, really amazing intro there. So would like to know concerning this digital identity, like, can you, give us some examples of this digital identity that we usually make use of in our daily lives, then relate it to still the same blockchain, so do we get to understand perfectly what we are talking about?
Yeah, okay. I'll first of all make an instance by linking it to the centralized networks that we have now. Since the emergence of the internet, we have the Web 1, the Web 2, and the Web 3. So let me start from listing and arranging what all these webs stands for. Like in the web one, we know that web one is the era of the internet. That is the only you read and only you read and write only internet session. That's you only read and search things on the Google or YouTube and you get to see what is it. You cannot tamper with it or add anything in it. Then we now came to the era of Web 2, whereby the big tech giant companies like Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, they now took over and they now made it possible for us to upload readable materials like pictures, photos, videos to this thing. Then these decentralized identifiers now is now leading us to the Web3, which we are still expecting to see what it entails. So linking it up to Facebook, we can say that these centralized organizations, they have our identity. But with this DID and these decentralized identifiers, our identity can now be taken and given back to us. Let's take, for example, now in Facebook or YouTube, you might be looking for something online, and suddenly YouTube or Facebook will give you exactly in relation to the same thing you are looking for. Like I hope I'm making sense here now.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Facebook and YouTube will give you exactly the same thing that you are looking for. How does this entail and how do they know what you are really looking for? This shows that this has called for the era of decentralized identifiers because they have our identity and we lack that privacy in the internet space. But with blockchain that is coming in space now, we get to see that blockchain will give us that privacy back, like we already have in the DApps that we interact with, the DOA autonomous communities. So when we link blockchain to these decentralized identifiers, we will see that we have a much more room to our privacy and how we interact in the internet and in the whole DApps at large.
Hello, Salas, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, awesome. So, okay, you're done with that.
Yeah, I'm done with this one for now.
Okay, so cool. All right. So, would like to know basically because you're talking about having people's identity or data on the internet, and we're having these companies or organizations using them for their own profits, and trying to sell our data for to make money. Because I understood the fact you were talking about Facebook. Let's assume I create a Facebook account and I put in my details, and maybe I go through some content on Facebook. Maybe I'm interested in sneakers. That are some shoes, some nice Nike shoes, and then maybe I keep going up through shoe content. And surprisingly, on my Facebook, where I get to see something like an advert, maybe from Jumia or some Amazon or any platform that sells, any online marketplace, that begins to draw me or show me something that relates to shoes, maybe even Nike shoes, things like that. I think they're kind of selling my personal data or my previous data or history of what I'm using or my personal details in order to push the market of other platforms like that of Jumia and the rest of them. I think that's basically what they do, and that's what you're talking about. And you're referring that to introducing blockchain in order to keep our privacy and also allow us to be in charge of our data, right? So, but we would like to know basically because this you talked about is actually a problem we are facing, and I feel like definitely need to be a solution. That's why I think blockchain is trying to solve that issue. But like, how does blockchain solve this issue? Like, how can I be in charge of my identity if I seem to have my own space and privacy? How can I be in charge of my identity? Salas.
Yeah, okay, this is a very nice question. Okay, basically, this Web3 and this DID that we are still talking about is still currently under evolution. It has not yet evolutionized, but we need to position ourselves so that when this comes, how can we tap into the full potentials of this? Okay, I will list some networks that are currently working on building these decentralized identifiers. And to my own utmost belief, I believe that before we can have this our decentralized identity, Centralized corporations and decentralized corporations have to work together because it will be a paradigm shift from what we know that we normally interact on the internet to what we give us that privacy back. I don't think these central authorities will like to lose access to this kind of power that they have. But listing the networks that are currently building on this decentralized identity, that of like the ontology network DID, where you create multiple wallets and only one identity can house all these wallets in other networks. That's such that you have your Ethereum address, your ontology address, your BSC address, but only one your ONT ID. You'll be using it in signing in or in performing transactions in this network. We also have that of the encrypted data vaults and the storing data concept. On the encrypted data vault, you see that your data is already there. Like a typical example of this one is the WhatsApp end-to-end encryption. WhatsApp will tell you that the messages we are communicating are not even in their database. How true is this? And how can we know? The messages might not be truly in their database, but the messages might be stored somewhere because there is a recent hack that you can use to retrieve past messages. I hope I'm communicating here.
You are, yes, you are.
Okay, then coming back to the storing data concept, yeah, it seems like we have the vault that still stores our data. But there are certain browsers now that are building up these decentralized identities, like that of Brave. You know, in Chrome, normally they would ask you to log in to your sign in to your account so that they will link up every account and have total access. Check the number of people that have linked up their accounts to all these networks. You see that they have the absolute control of our privacy. They track our locations and they do all these things. So Web 3.0 browsers that are coming up now, like that of Brave, and they also reward people with their BAT tokens for engaging and using their networks. And your anonymity is secured. But I'm still optimistic that we will see this decentralized identity coming up to a reality.
Okay, that's a really amazing one from there. We have gotten to understand that blockchain is still a baby in in the space totally because it was actually launched in 2009 and due to the launch of Bitcoin, and it has actually been changing a lot via many innovations that have been launching all this while in terms of NFTs, metaverse, and the rest. So, but I'm really happy because of this topic tonight because I feel like this is a very important topic that we need to focus on because most times this human data, this your personal data, is being used most times by these companies. People can equally easily track where you are and find out everything about you. Everything you put on the internet is clearly visible by everybody out there, and it's somehow risky and it's somehow scary because sometimes people don't understand that your personal details or your data can equally be used against you until the day you find out. So I also have this that has been currently happening. Sometimes somebody can equally use your own personal data to claim that he is somebody else. Let's assume I somehow misplaced my ID card and I'm trying to enter into a hall that is maybe let's say we only allow soldiers to join in a particular hall, and I have an ID card and maybe I steal an ID card of a soldier. I'm not gonna steal. I'm not a thief. I'm just using that as an instance. Let's assume I steal an ID card of a soldier and I'm about to enter a hall that is allowed, that is only allowed for soldiers. And if they look at the card, let's assume I change the picture or the image of the card and maybe put my face on it. If they look at the card, they can easily say, "Oh, this person is legit. They can allow me," because they don't have this. I don't know how to put it, but they don't have this way of checkmating all the cards and finding out who is fake and who is real. Because sometimes people could equally, imitate content out there, materials out there. They can easily imitate that. So, but we want to know, like, how can I prevent others from proving my own identity in another place? How can I prevent somebody from mimicking me or doing things claiming that I'm the one, which means I'm not the one? So how does blockchain solve this particular problem?
Yeah, okay. I'll first of all make an instance with that of what is going on in the blockchain space now. Like recently, we've been seeing recent issues in the rise of NFTs. Like you see, someone will mimically create an NFT that you and I can easily just go and download or copy. But with the address that he or she is housing, you see that he has sole control of this address. So the process of you and I that we are going to use and protect and provide like guide our privacy online is by interacting with these DID solutions. But the real cause of the problem now is that these decentralized identifiers are still under construction. You know, the blockchain is still evolving. Just like we are basically based on the financial aspect, which is the cryptocurrency part. But the blockchain as a whole is all encompassing. The thing in this blockchain is very, very big. And we're only seeing just a fraction of it. So for these decentralized identifiers to prevail and for our privacy to be secured, like I said before, I think there should be a mutual cooperation between these centralized authorities and these decentralized authorities. Like recently, you'll be seeing all these new blockchain that are coming up now, new blockchain ecosystem, like the IOTS network, the ontology network. You see that these guys have worked for Google, they have worked for Uber, and they have worked for all these top tier companies. But they have seen that the issue here is that of privacy. And they are now building something that will give us that privacy back. So to my own thoughts, I think that there should be a mutual cooperation between this centralized authority and decentralized authorities for us to have our privacy guarded online. But for now, we'll be making ado with what the Web 2.0 is giving us. But in a nearby future, I think that this should be a reality. And each and every one of us, a, we have a digital identity and a decentralized identifier network to guide us and provide us on our online activities. Thank you, guys.
Awesome, awesome one there. So we've come to understand that we could actually be in charge of our details or our personal data via the blockchain, and that seems to be more private and secure because it keeps everyone safe. You wouldn't want anybody to easily go online, use Google, and track your personal location and find out where you are. Sometimes I'm always scared. I just toggle my phone, go to the location icon, and click on it to turn it off because I feel like somebody is spying on me, and I don't think it's safe, you know. So this blockchain is actually a problem solving platform, I should say. So guys, if you have any questions, do want to drop them in the chat box. We'll be taking questions from now because we have about 10 minutes left to end the call because usually it's a 5 minutes call. So for those who just joined us recently, this is A1 Blockchain Hub, a platform that educates people based on cryptocurrency and blockchain related matters. And it's actually a community of crypto-minded persons. I usually call that Lambo-minded persons. And who you're having on the call today is Analytical, who is the founder of A1 Blockchain Hub, aka the host of the call, and our guest speaker here, Ugu Silas, who is the community manager at Ontology Network. So while we wait for others to drop questions, Silas, please, we would like you to talk about Ontology Network. Like, give us full details of what Ontology Network is all about, and also tell us things that you would like us to know that Ontology Network offers too. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for this opportunity, Mr. Anthony. I thank you very much for this opportunity. Okay, by the way, Ontology Network is a full generation tree network that is building. And when I say that they are building, they are really building on what the privacy layer entails. You know, up until recently, the only cause that has been alarming for us now has been privacy, the issue of privacy. Like Sir Anthony Analytical said, he normally turns off his location off because he feels like someone is spying on him. Even I too, I normally do it here because sometimes I just feel like someone is spying on him. So at Ontology Network, we are specializing on building. And up until recently, we have launched the EVM contract and compatible, which we go on by linking your addresses to your one ONT ID. I don't know if you guys get me here. Like, once this EVM compatible is completed, you can receive your coins, your ETH coins, BSC coins, Tron coins, Ontology Network coins with your only one ONT ID. And I see this as a huge blast off in the market. So I will make a way back to what happened in 2019 when there was an identity fraud. And up until then, the identity fraud has risen by 44%. And if you check back to the healthcare industry, you also see that the healthcare industry has been ravaged by data breaches. And we are expecting that more of this should happen because mostly all this happens outside. But with what Ontology Network is building itself, it is bringing trust and privacy and security to the Web 3.0. And as you know, this Web 3.0 is a new jump on how the things are done on the Internet of Things through the decentralized identity and data solutions that they offer. If you still want to know more about ontology, I will drop the link that you will research and know about it. But just take note that at Ontology Network, we are building and bringing trust, privacy, and security to Web 3.0. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Please do also drop links that are necessary. If you can also drop some links. I think we have some questions here. We have a question from Gabriel. He says, please, can Silas give stages the ID has gone in construction? Can you give us the details of the stages that decentralized identification has gone in construction? Like, how far have they gone in building the DIDs?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Oruche. I got your question. We are asking on the stages that decentralized identifiers has gone in construction. Okay, up until recently, these decentralized identities has been a new thing to the blockchain, though it has been there, but there hasn't been any network taking fully on how to solve this problem. So the stages I can list is that from the ontology network that they have completed and they are still ongoing with the EVM compatible. But on a much more broader note, this DID will only go through this construction when these centralized organizations and these decentralized organizations meet. So once there is a mutual cooperation there, you now see that we can now build on these decentralized identifiers in the sense that once you have your one decentralized identity, it can house every other thing. So the first stage on this decentralized identity is that one, it must have a mutual cooperation between the centralized authority, that those that are already in the Web 2.0 and those that are building on the Web 3.0, they should have a mutual cooperation. Then the second stage that it has gone now is that they are constantly evolving their blockchain. Like when you take a look at what Ontology Network is building, you see that this network is really building on your identity. That's why they are still starting from that of the blockchain, because you cannot just go and start fighting all these centralized organizations and trying to take them out of the market. Like out of recently, we have seen what Facebook has been building. You will open your WhatsApp and you will see Meta. Facebook also and WhatsApp are also trying to build on these DIDs so that they will still remain in the space. So basically, these stages are still in progression. And after each stage is being completed, we now look into the other stage and what the next stage holds. But be sure that this decentralized identity is a vision and is a goal that must be achieved. And an ontology network and other networks are currently building on this network.
Okay, I believe that question has been answered. Gabriel, if you got that. So I think Gabriel also has another question. He said, does DID also implies that one can commit cybercrime and go scot-free? I think he's trying to say that, like, if since I have a private, or I should say decentralized identity on a blockchain, and it's somehow private because most times it's basically anonymous, does it mean that if I commit a crime that I'm gonna go scot-free with that? Can you please answer that, Silas?
Yeah. I'll answer this. Okay, let me make an instance, like a reflection to the cryptocurrency that we use. You know, we normally have some privacy layer coins like Monero and the likes. where your address and your key address changes. It changes every time. So even if someone has that your key address, he or she cannot know the exact amount that you have in your wallet address. So coming back to your question now, Oruche, you are saying that one can commit cybercrime and go scot-free. I also link this thing to, let me say, what the US normally do, the state security number, that's the SSII. Once you are in the United States, you see that once you commit a crime, what they only need to get from you is that your serial security number, that's your state security number. Once they impute it on their database, all these things, all your work, everything, all your crime that you have committed, your police custody, where you live, where you work, everything is being listed there. But in the sense, in the blockchain space, that is still in relation to the real life space, there is a database that all these things is being imputed. And as you know, there is advantage and also a disadvantage of all this thing that is happening in the space. That's why I'm still saying that this decentralized identifier is still under construction. And these engineers are still working to provide that, to prove that all these things will be taken into consideration before building what will help the humankind. So I believe I've answered your question, G. Onruche.
Okay, thank you so much for that answer. I think Chinos also have a question here. He said, "Is this system able to put a stop to cryptocurrency scam and fraud?"
Okay, concerning
Hello, are you there, Silas? We can barely hear you.
yeah, I'm here. It's network that is fluctuating on my side. Please, can everyone hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Please go ahead.
Can you hear me now? Okay,
Yeah, we
okay.
can.
So going back to the question, okay, this cryptocurrency scam has been there, and for now they aren't building on how to curb this thing, because wherever there is a good ship, there will also be a bad ship. We've also come to see many of these projects that will just rock pull. You will see one project after getting many of all this, they will just rock pull like that. But on the part of these decentralized identities, if it is being audited and certified that this project will normally go through the procedures, you see that once you have that trust, because what this project is really building is trust. And for every project that you build on the ontology network on any decentralized identifier network that will come up in the future, they are seen as three things basically. And these three things are: one is the trust. The trust must be there, the privacy must be there, and the security must be there. And as I said earlier, this is still under construction, and we hope to see what these BIDs will bring to the future of Web3.
That question has been answered well. Thank you so much. I think we have 4 more questions. Let me check it out. Not sure we still have more questions anyway, but if you guys have any further questions, please do well to drop them in the comment section. I believe Silas will be in our community here to get responses to the question. So Silas would like you to drop links to Ontology Network so that we can get to experience this feeling about our digital identities on the blockchain and see what it actually entails. It also maybe can give us further details later via some content or some documents you can share here for us to understand better. So I believe that's all the questions we have for tonight, and I think that's all on the call. I would just like to encourage everyone here to keep up with learning blockchain, because I believe it's actually a system that changes everything, changes how things work, changes the system, removes intermediaries, and brings you to the forefront. It's like giving you the opportunity to express how you feel, not minding anything out there. Previously we could remember how things have been changing all this while. I usually tell people about blockchain whenever I'm trying to introduce them to blockchain. I tell them like it's much like a newer phase of tech. Previously, we used to make use of typewriters, and you know how typewriters are really stressful. If you make one mistake, you have to remove the paper and start afresh. But now we have computer system laptops that you can equally go online, copy and paste, and do some projects you want to do, and you get it done. So, but previously back then, typewriters are so stressful. You have to ensure you make a clean writing and the rest. And that's just how blockchain technology is. It's a new tech that makes things more easier, secure things, store data on blockchain, and keeps them safe, especially when they are decentralized. It makes things beautiful. So I believe we had an amazing session tonight, and for you guys that join us, you've learned a lot. So if you're still joining us now, we're about to end the call. So this is actually A1 Blockchain Hub. Is actually a platform that educates people about blockchain technology and pushes forward this to the whole country, Nigeria and Africa as a whole. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us tonight. Thank you, Ugo Silas, Ontology Community Manager, for joining us. Blaze, do you have any other words to share with us? Maybe you want to tell us one or two things so we can get a hold of this night.
Yeah, my last words are that, as we know, this blockchain is still an evolving sphere, and as we know, we also have to position ourselves by looking into what these next projects are about to build. So I believe that the Web 3.0 that is coming is building on the next stage of the internet, and it is going to require decentralized and centralized technology, and it will also require new regulation and economic incentives. Though this might take time, but with time, all this will be a goal, and it is a vision that will come through. So I'll urge every one of us, as we are in the space, to research Web 3.0 and also know what's in it. And we also need to filter the noise, and let's build for Web 3.
Thank you so much. That was some wise words there. I got some wisdom from there. That's awesome. So thank you so much, Silas, for joining us on the call. Thank you all. We can see John and Sunday. We can see Precious Pearl. We can see Chiamaka, so Callistus, Jasper, Khalifa Usman, Precious, so and Gabriel for joining us on the call. It has been an amazing session, and we might be ending the call here. If you have further questions, do well to drop them in the group chat so that it will be attended to as soon as possible. So we'll be ending the call tonight. Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for joining the call, and have a wonderful night.
Yeah, thank you guys.